find it. I think we're now beginning. So that's great. Welcome to the group meeting today. We've got a really good topic that Kelly and I were speaking a couple of days ago, and we started talking about the difficulties of running from a home studio. And I just thought we'd address those things today and give everyone the opportunity of asking any questions for those who are doing it and those who want to start doing it. So I've put a little program together. We're going to mix a couple of things up and get some input from Kelly, who's actually doing it. All right. So welcome and thank you for showing up. Even a little friendly dog there, which is good to have on board, seeing as we've got no other males. Maybe we should form a separate women's group and I just hop out and someone can run in there. Yeah, they say. So, as you know, as a business owner, whether you're running from home or not from a commercial premises, you need to know a lot of things, right? Photography, editing, retouching, printing and framing, counting, planning, marketing, admin, advertising, social media, plus all the other things in life. The question is, obviously, it can be more beneficial to run your studio from home, but at the same time, it can be a negative as well. So we wanted to look at the benefits of and the negatives of. So those who are, we've got Ina as well, so another female, so we're doing really well here. So,
unprecedented.
Yeah, now I'm getting really scared. What happened to the guys? Maybe none of the guys are running from home. I can't think of any, actually. All the guys, yeah, seem to be, I can't think of any that are running from home. So it's all you girls are running the businesses from home.
And it's because we can multitask, remember? So
I know, I understand all that. I know, you're incredible, you women, you're fantastic. You just look after the kids, run a business, look after your partner and take the kids to, yeah, all of that. So anyway, besides all that, Kelly, tell us about your situation at present. We will look at some photographs of your place, but just tell us how long you've been working from home.
So I think I've been working from home my entire career, but doing this whole thing with Bernie, we started right off the bat. I converted one of my rooms into a studio. It was a Lego room and now it is a home studio. I did have a space in my basement set up for just headshots and things. And I did shoot out of there for quite some time, but it was a little uncomfortable to have people going up and down the stairs and feeling that little kids could trip. And, I was gonna have to redo that whole thing. It was kind of, it's dark down there and it's just not it's not very inviting. And so
no, to have a studio in your basement. Yeah, come down to the basement. Yeah.
So, it wasn't ideal. I did have taller ceilings down there than I do here in my space, but we needed a sales room. So that's what we were talking, kind of going back and forth on what would work. And this seemed to be what made sense. And it was, part of that was just due to the fact that people could come right into my door and right into the room. And I don't have to have them go through my house. And it's just, it looks neater. I don't have to clean up that side of the house. I mean, this side I keep nice and neat when they come in, they don't know what's behind closed doors. So it's it just worked out a little bit better. Even though I could use a little bit more space, it works and it's fine. So I have 3 kids and it's nice to be home. And I do have an office as well in the house. So when I do most of my editing, and usually I'm sitting there at a computer. I just thought today I'd come from my little studio space on my laptop. So
you've sort of been running your business from home for 25 years, which is a fairly long time, right?
Yeah, I've never been in an office before, ever.
Never had a commercial premises. Yeah. So today we want to look at the 7 challenges or 7 of the major challenges you may experience if you choose to work out of your home. And I just we'll just hear Kelly's story, and then we'll look at another couple of scenarios, and then we'll go through those 7 challenges. So this is your front door, Kelly, at your home.
Yep. With some snow right now.
And prior to starting to work with me, you never had a sign there, okay?
No.
So this is something I so want to emphasize. If you're running a business from home, you must have a sign. A sign gives it legitimacy that it is a business. Now, I've been to a lot of home studios, and as I've arrived in my car, I'm going 36. Now, where's that? And I'm looking around, and I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. And like, I'm supposed to be going to a business. And I've spoken to quite a few people about this over the last few days, about their experiences to going to different businesses in a home. And I remember I was recommended to go for is it Reiki or Reiki massage? Do you know what that is? Kelly's smiling, so you must have had one, yeah? That's where you don't actually get touched. People sort of give you energy or suck the bad energy out, and they don't actually touch you. So I went to this person's home, this Reiki person, and it was in a bedroom, yeah, just with a massage table, and it was a bit grubby. And I'm going, what the hell am I doing here? I'm going with this woman standing over me, drawing out some bad energy and putting something else back in without touching me. I also went on a particular diet with this guy, and he worked from home, and there was no signage, and I'm going, where am I and what am I? And then I think, what the hell am I doing now? I'm paying this guy, $50 a visit. So you've really got, and I spoke of other experiences, and you've really got to lift your game if you're inviting people to your home, but you've got to turn your home into a business immediately. And the way you do that was with a sign. So as we know, the general public, you've got to lead them by the hand. And to give you another example, I went to this home, and I'm wondering, where do I go? Because the front door's here, then there's a side gate, and I'm wondering, A, am I in the right house? And secondly, what do I do now? So I phoned the photographer, and she came out, and I said, where's your sign? I said, you need a sign on the letterbox for a start, so I know I'm there. Then you need a sign by your door. Then you need a sign to tell me what I have to do now. Do I have to ring the doorbell? Do I knock? What do I do? And in her case, you had to go down the driveway, turn left, go down the side gate, turn right, across the back end of the house, go up some steps, and there was the studio. I said, you got no signage, so you need signage with arrows showing where to go. And that's very important, because it gives credibility for the first thing. And, I don't know, Kelly, whether you've got any other signage, but I can't see that sign from the road. It should be on the right-hand side.
That's more because I'm not allowed to have businesses in our neighborhood. So I have it on the side there when people come in, but yeah, a lot
of photographers have said to me, oh, we don't want to show it's a home business because of security, and we don't want them to know I'm a photographer. And I say, well, you're security conscious anyway, aren't you? And I think, people don't target photographers like, oh, as a photographer, I'll go in and pinch all the cameras and all that studio equipment. I think they steal other things. But you don't have to put something out permanently. Just have a little logo sign, 10 by 8 inches or something you can hang out there when you're expecting people, and then take it in if you want. So you don't have to have it permanently, but have something. So when they arrive, give yourself the experience of arriving. And this was really brought home to me a couple of days ago, and I felt a little bit, a bit sick about this, but a photographer was telling me that someone arrived. It was a mother and daughter promotion, and the mother arrived with a daughter to the house and then left and texted the photographer and said, I felt uncomfortable coming to a home with my daughter. So you've got to understand that people are coming to you. This was a male photographer, by the way, so it may have had a bit more sort of implication, but you've got to understand what people, the general public, you've got to give them credibility for the first impression. They've got to see a business. Anybody got any questions on that?
I don't have a question, but when I explain the shoot, I usually tell them I work from home. The studio's in the back of the house. You walk down the side gate. There are signs. Follow the signs. So right up front, they know that they're coming to someone's home. That's where the shoot will be.
I think also you should advertise it. I mean, a perfect example, I think, was with Pippi. You know, with Pippi, maybe you could tell your situation now, what we're doing at your home, Pippi.
I am doing shoots in my backyard where I have grass. I'm a dog photographer, so I pitch it as the grass is an area where we can get action shots. Also, your dog can be comfortable, pee on the grass if it needs to. I also have a patio area where I set up a gray backdrop for what I call formal portraits. So I'm marketing this as Pippi's Boutique Backyard Studio.
So, and that's something we came up with. So Pippi, instead of taking photographs running around in parks and herself running around in parks, carrying all the gear, chasing dogs and all of that, we created this, what we call Pippi's Boutique Backyard Studio. So don't try and kid people about what your brand is about. If it's a backyard studio, tell them that we take the photographs in the backyard, or I work from home, and show photographs on your website, show photographs on your Facebook page of inside, or maybe what greets them or something, but don't misinterpret what you're about. And you can turn it into a brand, like with Pippi. How many boutique backyard studios are there in San Francisco?
I don't know. I did hear of one person who's not a dog photographer, but apparently has like a beautiful garden for family portraits, but that's the only one I've heard of.
Yeah. So you're separating yourself as well with your brand, and that's what you push. This is what we're about. So just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing, just going back to this, and tell us about the signboard, the chalkboard you've got there, Kelly, at the front on the bottom right-hand side.
Yep. So I have a little sign that just says welcome, and I changed out their last name, welcome Fazoli, I think this one says. I do want to get a little bit bigger one, but because it's been snowing and raining, I can't have like there's not that much space, so I just have a small one here that won't get dripped on. But I think I'll probably get something bigger that can go maybe where the flower pot is, or just, like more of a sandwich board type it's a bigger sign basically. So yeah. I put my logo on it. And so
it is amazing, because I visited a couple I can remember. One was the home studio, and when I arrived, it had a chalkboard that said, welcome Bernie and Wendy. And I thought, oh, that's good. Well, A, I knew I was in the right place, and B, I just felt good. And I remember that. And on both occasions the two studios that did it. So you may think of doing that. You've got to embrace people quickly. You've got to let them know you're expecting them as well. So with the signage, you could have a sign on the door. What do they do next? Is there a bell? welcome, please press bell and we'll be right with you. Even in my own case, you don't. So what
it's right next to my sign. It says it's ring, and so it's right there. But I tell them in the thing ahead of time, please come to the front door, ring the bell, come greet
yeah,
you.
it's okay telling people, but people don't listen anyway. It's just, there's too much information. So in my case with my studio, although it was commercial, my last one, it was 2-story. I was usually up in the workroom with the rest of the staff. So we had a bell. We always had the door locked downstairs for security. Then we had a video thing so we could see who was at the door. So there was a sign which said, welcome, please press the button and we'll be right with you. So we could talk to them. So you may think of having something like the little video systems are so cheap now. You could set something up just so you know who's at the door, and yeah, you're expecting them, but just treat it a bit more like a business. That's all I'm sort of suggesting. So just talk us through, Kelly. This is your sort of setup when we walk in the door.
You walk in the door and straight ahead, there's a hallway. And to my left is the bottom left photo. That's where I'm looking from. Right as you come in the door, you see that to the left. So that is my main shooting area. And my hallway, I have extra samples. I don't have a ton of wall space. It's not a very big room. So I use my hallway as an additional, sample area of my kids and my family, just because that's what I want there. But they always, I sell this one a ton, this one in the upper left, just because they see it and think it's really cute and it's my kids. But that one it just gives me more wall space. Down below, that's my little sort of seating area where eventually we'll have sales sessions. A mirror is going to go up on the wall right behind that so people can fix their hair and check their makeup. And I think what else? My wall of portrait box photos, matted prints.
So basically, Kelly, you've been doing your sales via Zoom for many months now during COVID, because you say you don't want people in your house. You want to get rid of them quickly, right?
I do. I want them in and out of here pretty quickly. My family's here and they're often doing homework right behind the doors right here, or they're just hanging out on a Saturday. They might just be watching a movie or whatever, but I just don't feel comfortable having, with COVID and having people spend too much time here. The other thing is it's not a huge space. And if there's a big family in, there's just not the space. I don't have a waiting room. I don't have a place to put,
put people.
So
there's a couple of key things here as well, and we'll go through a lot of things, and it may not be particularly in order, but one of the things with one of the clients I had who had a home studio, she used to get clients coming early and ring the doorbell. So, and she'd got nowhere to put them. So then she had to, put with the information to tell people, make sure you come in time. If you arrive early, could you just wait in the car and then come and ring the doorbell? So you've got those other problems. If you've got nowhere to store people at home, then you've got to, put some information out there to tell them to be on time. Don't be late. Don't be early. Be on time. And I think that's important too. And also, I don't know with you, Kelly, do people just rock up at any time? I know that with some photographers, they've had a ring on the doorbell at 10 o'clock at night or 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. Has that happened to you?
No, I've had people call me from the street and say, we're looking for this. We're looking to get a passport photo. We're in front of your house. Like, I'm not like, make an appointment, and I don't do passports, so go away. But sorry, they got the light sitting here. I've not had that problem, no. And everybody, even when they're picking up when I tell them their orders are ready, I say, let's schedule a time because I need to make sure I don't have clients here. Well, I don't want people crossing over for, I want to be able to spend the time with the client who's picking up, and maybe I show them some new products or, take that opportunity. But I don't want people crossing over. So I make sure everybody's scheduled, and I tell them that. I said, we have to schedule everybody's for a certain time because, you know, so there's no crossover, and they get it.
And with the studio, you're still setting up. You haven't got the TV yet. And I suggested to you that instead of getting a couch where people sit down, that we have this sort of bench-like table, a bar type table where people sit. I think it's easier for people to slide on and off chairs that way and go up to products and all of that. Is that working well? Is it facing the right direction?
I love it. It's great. I mean,
because you put things on it.
Yeah, people come, they set their jackets down and they put their stuff down, and it just gives them a place to, you know, sort of set their purses and sort of reset. So it's been great. I mean, I have not tried using the space yet as a sales area. I mean, that was the plan. I'll be putting a TV on that bottom left photo. I'm thinking where the lamp is, there'll be a TV there instead. We also talked about doing a drop down movie screen over the matted prints. That would just pull down. You know, there's a few options. So we'll just kind of see what works. You know, probably start with the TV or a secondary computer and run it that way. But it's working great.
The amazing thing that we've learned with Kelli is that with her Zoom sessions, she's been having for many months incredible success with Zoom sales. Just tell us about some of the sales that you've done via Zoom.
Definitely, it's been, I mean, now it's all I know. I'm a little bit wondering how I'm going to do with an in-person, but I've definitely had lots of 3,000, 4 or 5. I've had a 5,000. I've had a nearly $6,000 sale. I always make sure when they're here to go through my products and show them everything, so they know what an acrylic is and what we're talking about, so that when we actually get into our Zoom, they've seen it. They know what I'm talking about. And then I also bring up photos again to show them what's what.
So it can work if you're looking at a process as we, you know, struggle through the pandemic for the remaining of the year. Probably it may be an option if you do allow it to be open, that you can take photographs and then you want, you know, people to get the hell out of your home and learn how to do sales. We've got a lot of videos on that, including one that Kelli's done about how she does her Zoom sales. And, you know, the success she's had has sort of blown me away in doing the big sales. But there's a process, obviously, that you have to learn step by step to achieve those results. But it's another option, you know, if you don't, as I say, people hanging around your house for too long. Anyone got any questions at this point?
I was going to add this about this table. One thing about working from home that I've actually found as a sort of side benefit of this taller table is actually putting all of my products together and putting all of my mats together and everything. It gives me a work table that's taller with another area. It's worked out really well to have that piece, you know, just sort of multi-purpose type of thing.
And you have got a separate office?
Yes.
So there are many different ways that you can do, and I've seen a lot of different home studios. And what Kelli is actually got people coming into a home, but a lot of people do a garage conversion. And I just want to show you this single car garage conversion of Murray, a photographer in Sydney. This is a single garage, right? So it's not very wide. I think it's 3 meters wide by 5 point something meters, whatever. So this is not only the studio, this is also the viewing area. So you can see the TV, you see the couch, the TV. So this is one end of the garage, and this is the other end. So you can see how wide it is, because those rolls are, what, about 6 feet? They're 2.4 meters or something, a little bit wider. So it's not very wide. And to sort of eliminate, because of lack of space, Murray's using one of these, what are they called? Forgotten, but one of these lights anyway, they're constant lights, which can be dialed up and down. So a very soft light with a silvered reflector. gives her the results she wants. Obviously, she's limited in taking families, whatever, but single car garage. The only downside is you do have to go into a front door, turn left, go past the lounge room, and then the kitchen's on the right, which is exposed, and then go down into this studio area. So that's the way.
I think you muted.
Muted.
Yeah, that's okay. I just having to have a cough, a muted cough. So and Mireille has been there for 19 years, right, in this sort of facility, and it's her home. And, you know, going through all these things about people arriving, and she didn't have a sign when I first started coaching, etc. She's got one now, and so on. And she used to have a mum live with her, and mum was getting on a bit and a little bit, you know, not all the brain cells were there still. And she'd say to mum, hey, mum, I've got a client coming at 10 o'clock. Make sure, stay in your room. Don't come out. And of course, mum took no notice, and she'd be, you know, out in a nightie in a wellies watering the garden at 10 o'clock. And I go, mum, get in, you know. So you've got all this to contend with, whether it's the dog, whether it's the mum, whether it's the kids or whatever. You have to control that as well. And it's, you know, so you can't have, you know, a sign, beware of the dog on your front gate or things like that. So just make sure that it's a business, right? That it's a business. They're going to look at it from the outside as though you're arriving, and what you see. Does the garden need a few weeds pulled up? Should the wheelbarrow be there? Should, you know, one of the kids' bikes be there or whatever? Just make sure that it's professional. That's the best word I can come up with, that it looks professional. That's the first impression, right? So with Mireille, what she did, she converted a bedroom into her office. And I guess you're learning what Mireille was like. Very, very tidy. Everything was in its place, organized. And I think in a home situation, you really have to nail that organization. She's got everything. She's got everything in the place. This is just one room. This is just a bedroom that she set up as her office. And that's the full extent of the use of the home. She hates people going in the lounge room. She doesn't like the fact that people see the kitchen, but there's no other way to get in. So this is what she works with. Not the ideal, but as I say, the problem was with Mireille, and it may be with some of you. And I know Kelly and I have looked at the possibility of her getting a you know, commercial property and taking out a lease away from home. With Mireille, we looked at that. We looked at properties. We looked at what was in the area, and it's all incredibly expensive. So I had to convince her to change her mindset and say, well, you're stuck with it. Make the best of it. Because the rents were like $1,000 a week or something. And then they wanted a minimum of 3 years and so on. So, and we looked hard but in the end, I said, look, just live with it and take the financial benefits that you're not paying rent, that you can get some tax concessions from working from home with lots of things anyway. So just live with it. So she decided to do that. And it's a hard choice. It really is. So this is just one of Mireille's photographs. You can take great photos. Kelly's photography is fantastic. You don't need this amazing studio. This is with one light, this continuous light and a kick of a silver reflector. So you can take great photographs. Pippi's work is amazing too. What a transformation, Pippi, with what you do. throw up a backdrop in your back garden and the photographs have that really professional look. And obviously the sales have gone up. So it's all about that professionalism. So I want to look about some of the areas that may be a bit of a bind for you if you're working from home. Not being taken seriously. Do you find this, Kelly? Do people take you less seriously if you say I work from home a little bit?
No, I think they're so prepared with everything and everything we've shown them. And, I think once they come in here, I mean, I've had this room, basically I had an interior designer help me design this room. It looks really great. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks professional. Everything is, I try to be very professional from start to beginning. So I feel like they do take me seriously. If you take yourself seriously, they'll take you seriously.
Yeah, and I think that's it. You tend not to take yourself seriously because you're in a home situation. You don't think you're worthy, I would suggest. Is that right, Lyndall? What do you think? You work from home. Do you feel I can't charge higher prices because I work from home?
Yeah, that's so right, Bernie. And also a lot of my friends, she says she's a good photographer, but is she? No, they don't really. Yeah, they don't try. They don't even try. They don't even get in front of my camera, so they don't know. They don't know. It is hard.
But I think someone like Kelly has proven, with $3,000-$5,000 odd sales via Zoom, that it's all a lot to do with your mindset, your confidence, your belief, and doing a lot of the right things and acting in a professional manner. So it's about how you present your property, how you present yourself, how you talk to people, the message that you give them. And I think you've got to be honest with the message you give them on your website and whatever you do. So it is hard. You do feel better. I'm sure. I've never worked from home. I've always worked out of commercial premises, but I can imagine that you feel a little bit inferior. You're not sort of a real photographer or something if you're not. I don't know. It's a mindset though. It's not a reality. And a lot of business is about mindset. Separating work and family life, how do you manage that, Kelly, with 3 kids? With difficulty?
I yell at my kids to get their pants on, not stop running around in their underwear before my clients get here half the time. That's really what's really happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, but
thing. It's such. I've gone back and forth on this. We've talked about having a space, and as much as I want to have a studio, I want to have a place to go and feel really legit and be able to, have a gallery wall and have a big tall ceiling. It's kind of nice to be able to do a shoot. I'll be watching a movie. I say, hey guys, there's somebody going to be here in a few minutes. I'm going to go get ready. And I come and do a 15-20 minute shoot and I'm back in there watching a movie with them, after they leave. So it's just like, it's kind of nice to be able to hop back and forth. And on the other hand, I do find myself working all the time. Like I don't, my office is here. I pop into my office, let me just do this. I'll just finish this order. And it's like, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. And I'll just do 2 Zooms tonight because, I'm home and my office is here, might as well. And so I find myself working nonstop. I don't ever take a break from it. It's always right here in my face. So.
Yeah, I don't think that changes when you've got a commercial property about that work ethic. But for me, I loved leaving home, going to work and leaving work, going home. It was, I got the separation. And in my case with Wendy, we had a rule at home. Wendy said, no talking business at home when we had the kids around, because the kids don't want to hear about business. So, and that rule worked very well for many years. So it gave us total separation. I went to work, work was work. When I got home, home was home. I suppose if you're in the home environment, you could still sort of implement that, I suppose, not to talk to your partner about work. Lack of space, of course, obviously, you are limited. You have to use, Murray did that very well. She got, a micro studio but she made the best of it, and just kept everything tidy, a place for everything, and everything in its place is the way to go. But obviously you don't intrude too much on your space for the family. As you say, Kelli, working too much or even procrastinating, leaving things for another day, finding something else to do, like the washing or attending to the kids. And Kelli, you've gone through your kids from birth to, how old are they now? 9, 11?
My twins are 9 and my other one is 10, almost 11.
So you've got a set of twins in there, and you've sort of been running from your home with having, you know, from babies to where you are now. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been, sorry, I just lost you here for a second. What happened? It's been interesting. I mean, I moved to this was a new market when we moved here with the twins. And so I was starting over from scratch, and I sort of had to figure out what to do, whether I was going to go back into commercial photography, where I was going to go, which we just did on location, or do weddings. So I sort of took the wedding track and ended up in that. So I've always worked from home. So I don't know anything different, but it was definitely a challenge to balance it all, for sure.
So Kelli, if you say weddings, did you do interviews with wedding couples at home, or did you go up and meet them somewhere else?
I just did phone meetings, or I met them somewhere. Usually I meet them for coffee somewhere out, or meet them at the venue. We'd go look at the venue and meet each other, but never really here, no.
Okay, so that made it a bit easier, but lack of privacy, it's important. You have to be a bit stricter with the rules, make sure your clients know about the rules. I know Jeff, you know, as part of the group, he works from home, and someone came on Christmas Eve or something looking to see if they could have photographs taken, and he wasn't happy. So there's also can be a strain on family relationships. Has that happened to you, Kelli?
I don't know. That's my husband. I mean, I think
ask your husband.
The strain is much less now that I'm working with you, because I'm making a lot more money. So he doesn't mind me. Like, so
the pressure was on you because you weren't earning enough income for doing what you're doing. Yeah, right. Fair enough. You were asked to get a real job, were you?
Never, but I kept saying, you know, this is all I know. It's all I've ever done for 25 years. So this is what I do. And I think he was kind of, you know, it was hard because I worked a lot. I was working a ton and not bringing home as much as I should be for the amount of time I was working.
Yeah, not bringing home the bacon. And that's the other thing. And that's why, you know, you have to sort of put the business, forget photography, think business, and you've got to put the emphasis on the business. And of course you can feel isolated if it's just you at home, or having someone to understand what's going through your head or what you're trying to achieve, or someone to help. You can be like Murray. She was on her own. She hadn't got a husband, hadn't got kids, just a mum living with her. So she felt a bit isolated, just her in the house. So those are the few sort of things. So there's all other things like, you know, eliminating the noise and cooking smells. You don't want to walk in, you don't want your clients to walk into your house after you've just cooked a nice curry, and the washing machine going, or the TV too loud, or the kids screaming, or the dog barking. It's not professional. Just make sure, as we mentioned, customers arrive not early or late, but make sure they arrive on time. And in Murray's case, she had to tell her friends, you know, you can't just pop and see me anymore because I might have an appointment. Call me and see if I'm free. Because she used to just get friends drop by, and she'd be photographing and have to send them away, you know. So there's all those things, organizing your friends and going out. With Murray, like as we said with Kelli, Murray was able to turn that single car garage, which she's had for 19 odd years, and did a $30,000 portrait sale from it. And Kelly's been telling us some of the results she's been getting, shooting at home and doing Zoom sales. So whatever you think, you know, I want you to open your minds and think of possibilities. It can be done. It can be done. It is being done. It's not impossible, because if someone's done it, that makes it believable, doesn't it? So don't think because you're working from home you can't make, you know, the business a success. You just have to work out a few things a little bit differently than if you're in a commercial premises. But I think it's a fantastic idea because of the saving for a start. So yes, you can do it. You've got to have that passion and drive that gets you halfway there. Then you just have to know what to do, and it can be highly profitable and rewarding, as Kelly's finding out, and a lot of others that I know have had great success with their home studios. So has anyone got any questions on running their business from home?
How do you stop your family from just saying, oh, can we go and do this? Can we go and do that?
What do you mean, can we go and do this? What do you mean by
well,
doing
my
this?
daughter, she's recently had a baby, and it's, we need to go shopping, Mum. We need to do this and we need to do that. And I'm finding that hard. I mean, new granddaughter for me. So, I need to be more disciplined.
That's it. I think it's the discipline.
Mm.
I mean, one of the benefits of having your own business and working from home, I mean, I find if I'm, you know, I find myself working whenever I've always done this. I worked late at night sometimes, and I might take a long lunch and hang out and watch, watch the news and drink some coffee and just not do anything, because I'm, you know, I do get my stuff done, but you know, you do have that flexibility. I mean, that's why we do this. You can write your own schedule. So
yeah, you can set hours. You might say I'll have Monday off, and that's when I'll go and have lunch with my girlfriends, or I'll have Wednesday off, or I won't work on a Sunday, or I'll work one Saturday, every alternative Saturday. So, and it's just the same. I mean, if you're in a commercial premises, it means you are, you know, if you've got kids, then you have to rely on your husband to look after the kids more, and then you have to work with his schedule. So working from home has many, many benefits, and it may not feel like, you know, exactly what you want, but if you get your mindset into it, that this is it, now I've got to make the best of it.
Yeah. Well, I tend to do that anyway. Like yesterday afternoon, my daughter dropped in, and that was fine. She was there for an hour. She wanted some advice on a couple of things. And then we just did a few more jobs in the evening after dinner. Yeah,
I hate the thought of having to tell your daughter, like, just call me up and make an appointment. When you start treating your family like customers, you don't really want to do that.
No, that's right.
So it is getting that discipline. And,
but in saying that, I don't want to work too late into the evening either. Although at the moment we're on a job, we did actually do a commercial shoot, and we're on a bit of a deadline. So, and it's a complex bit of processing. So that is working longer into the evening than I would normally do. But I try not to do more than an hour or two. Yeah,
it's got to be done.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any questions before we go? If you need any help, please contact me. If you've got any questions for Kelly, you'll find her in the group. You can just message her. And I do have a resource of a client I had showing his before and afters of his garage conversion. So I'll put that link on in a circle so you can have a look at that as well.
Love to see that.
He did a really good job. Shows what he started with and what he ended up with. So that'll be interesting too. All right.
one little last thing on that, and something I noticed that I was doing when I started this whole basement studio thing is I was making apologies. And if you have to apologize for anything about that's happening in your situation, you probably need to fix it so that you don't feel that.
That's right. Yeah. Sorry about my mom in the garden, in her nightie, watering the garden. Yeah. You're right, Kelly. That's an excellent point. And thanks, Kelly, for your time. That was great. And I hope everyone else got an insight into a little bit more about running your business from home. So we'll catch up with you later at the next group meeting. Hey, and if you've got any suggestions, any topic you want us to cover, just let me know.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. And bye all. Every success. Bye for now.